All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for yet another chapter of One Piece. Let's go ahead and get it started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu 92 here. Welcome back to One Piece. In the last chapter of One Piece, we had Loki going up against Emu. Emu just doing what Emu does, still continuing to fight. We have Sanji and Zoro thinking about how they got bodied by Emu, and then resolving themselves at taking out their respective opponents. One being Summers and the others being Killingham. We find out that Biblo has transported all of the books from the giant library into a secret passageway behind the school. So those are safe. And now we're at a point where Summers has gained yet another ship, thanks to the power of Omen that has allowed him to have, beyond human strength. Tosses the ship right back down, and now the Holy Knights, the Holy Knights are essentially telling the Giants, okay, now send your kids back over here because we're taking them with us. So now let's see and not only that, but yeah, like I said, Sanji and Zoro both tell each other to finish the job properly as they both go to fight their respective opponents. So let's see what happens. And we're off of break. We get a color spread here with the Straw Hat Crew. What is it? Make a splash. The Straw Hat Crew getting shot up in the air by a giant elephant, a giant pink elephant, while everyone is just chilling on the geyser that it's created, along with a smaller elephant. And I say smaller, but it's essentially a baby elephant, but it's the size of a full-grown bull elephant. But the giant elephant itself is just shooting everyone in the air. Everyone's just wearing cool clothes. What does that say? Niku? Because I think it's a word for meat. Because Luffy has a shirt on with meat on it. I think everyone has a respective shirt on that represents who they are. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. This is a nice little cover spread here. I like this. Chapter 1183, Good Morn Maid. And it starts with Emu just still huffing and puffing, mind you, because being in this form is very tiring for Emu. But Emu goes, Ragnir, thou wert waiting for one who could strike back against Mu. Isn't that right? And then we have Loki going, what nonsense are you talking about? I've never seen someone absorb so much damage! Loki, Straw Hat Luffy, in any case, thou wilt not be my soldiers. So I shall eliminate thee instead. Just like Dozan. Oh, wait, I forgot about the last chapter. One thing I forgot about the last chapter was the very fact that Killingham unwittingly conjured up a sleep tid based off of what they fear, which is essentially the god of rain, Zazan. And that is the thing that has grabbed the children and is flooding the Western Village in the hopes of, gaining the children back in the plan continuing on. But, I shall eliminate thee instead, just like Dozan. Who's Dozan? And then Emu takes his hand across his staff and holding his staff, and he just takes his hand across it with Loki going, Ragnadul. And Emu creates this extra long blade of fire as Loki calls down 2 bolts of lightning. And Emu swings his staff around as it deflects the lightning. And this move is called Ragnadul Dulheim. Something just flew out my mouth and onto my screen. Good God. Just come off. Why does it keep going down the screen instead of coming off? Good God, just stay off my screen. Now I gotta clean that later. Because I was eating a Nutri-Grain bar before this. Ragnar Dulheim! Blade of Wrath, Grom, And that's the name, that's a new name, that's another name for one of Imu's attacks. Then we cut to the Western Village. Western Village. And we have Zazan. What is it? Zazan? Or Zaza? Yeah, I think it was Zazan. Zazan just basically trying to flood the village with the giants going, "Take back the children!" And it shows the children basically being pulled in through the arm the same way Magellan would use Venom Rodo. And they're being forcibly pulled in another direction. And we have Ripley going, "We're not letting them be taken away. After all we did to save them." Mind you, they only had rudimentary medical care. They are not fully healed. It's just something to tie them over until they can get some real medical attention. But all the parents and all the people who stood up to protect these kids, they're going, "We're not letting them be taken away. After all we did to save them." "You're not taking our kids!" And then we get Chopper who goes,
"Wait, you guys! You shouldn't be moving around! I haven't finished your blood transfusions! You really will die!"
"My life means nothing to me if my son is ripped from my arms." And Zazan just essentially unloads like bullets of water directly on top of all the giants while she's also holding all of the giant kids.
"Help us!"
Then we get Killingham. Not Zazan, Zaza. Zaza. I was right. Zaza. "Only 7 of them. It'll have to do. Let's go, Zaza!" And then we get Sanji, who's skywalking over there going, "What's happening over there?" And he's looking, and then we get back to Gunko. I thought when Imu basically blew up that entire area where Gunko was frozen inside of the block, I thought she would be free. She's still in there. She's still frozen, despite Imu setting the whole area on fire. She's still there. Which speaks to the level of Loki's freezing capabilities, because with, what was it? It was a Nibelheim? Yeah, with Nibelheim, he basically froze her. And she's still frozen. I thought Imu would have, exploded the ice and she would be out. But Gunko is there going, "Brook, why did you run off?" And then we get Usopp going, "To fight that woman, I had to jump in after you because it seemed like something was wrong." And Brook isn't saying anything. And then Nami is going,
"Do you know her, Brook? Was she some enemy you fought against in the past?"
"No, not an enemy, but a person I did not want to see. Or so I thought. I'm so confused right now. If it's really her, then she must be 77 years old right now."
And Brook, that would mean that Brook is just slightly older than her.
"So it must be someone else, right? I mean, she's a celestial dragon."
"Yes, and at the time she was..." Oh wait, this is still Brook.
"Yes, and at the time she was the princess of my homeland. And I lost contact with her when she traveled to Sacred Marijois."
Huh?
And then we get Frankie going, "Hey, Brook, that chick's still frozen. Can't tell if she's dead or alive. We can just leave her there, yeah?" And then Usopp getting up going, "What I'm saying..." Oh wait, no, this is still Brook. This is still Brook.
"What I'm saying is she's a celestial dragon who looks exactly like..."
Oh no, this is Usopp.
"What I'm saying is, she's a celestial dragon who looks exactly like someone you knew. Doesn't change the fact that she came here to attack Elbaf."
"Yes, but when we were tied up earlier, she was the one who undid the rope."
Oh, and then, anime gasp. Anime gasp. Hold on, let me go to chat. Who's all here?
Let me see the people in chat.
I will never understand why I can pull up my own chat, but I can't see the people who are speaking. There he is, Ozzy! Okay, I see you, Anime Juke. I see you, DJ. I see you, Holster, Cohagen. Everybody! It's good to see you all. Woohoo! The gang's all here. Well, almost all of them.
"When we were tied up earlier, she was the one who undid the rope."
Anime gasp.
Escape!
And it shows Usopp being freed from the ropes and everyone else being free from the ropes.
Yes! I'm free! I feel like my mental powers did that!
Why would she do such a thing?
And then, while Gunko's flying away back then, while Brook was getting undone, the voice of Gunko goes,
Run, Brook.
How does she know who I am? And then she turned back into that demonic form again. Her original personality. That personality that saved us. The personality that saved us. Her demonic form. It feels as though we've seen 3 different people in her.
You think it's possible that she's being controlled?
It did not occur to me at first, but after seeing people turn into demons today, I must admit I feel deeply disturbed in my core.
this is the most Brook has spoken since... I feel like this is the most Brook has spoken since we started Elbaf. Sure, he had moments to speak, but this is the most he's carried on a full-on conversation, even more than him being silent when he confronted Gunko. But Jinbei,
I hate to rush you, Brook, but we need a decision. Does she live or die? We can't do anything before that's settled.
A long time ago. Truly, a long time ago. She was just a child, and I was a young man too. It was in a country that no longer exists. Esperia.
bro, bring in Brook.
We're getting Brook's backstory! We're getting Brook's backstory!
We're getting Brook's backstory! We're getting Brook's backstory!
Finally, out of every member of the Straw Hats, we are getting Brook's!
She was just a child, and I was a young man too. It was in a country that no longer exists. Esperia. Esperia was a land of music, full of workshops, crafting instruments of all kinds.
Brother, we're about to learn Brook's backstory. We're getting his backstory. West Blue, 70 years ago, 4 a.m. And then there's people playing music.
Check, check.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Wake up at the crack of dawn and it's a good morning. The start of a brand new world.
This is Brook.
Oh, they say there's many seas that can be surveyed. All I need is good morning.
Ooh!
Good morning, Esperia. No more waiting for favorable winds. It's time to set sail, baby. How you doing in the back streets?
Shut up, I got a hangover. Be quiet!
And then we have someone going,
Good morning, Brook.
What about the port? Hey, Arena!
I feel like Brook is the type of person that plays music when no one wants him to. He's just playing music on top of a building and everyone's all like, shut up, be quiet, it's 4 a.m.
Oh, how I wish to see a sexy mermaid someday. Oh, it'll make me lose my soul. Now that's what I call a bad and maid.
And we're going,
Shut up, Brook!
Brook, my fave.
Hope you get fired from the battle convoy.
Oh, brother, get me my gun.
yeah! This is the land of instrument makers, Esperia. This is where Brook came from. A country that no longer exists. Meaning this place was wiped out. Let's not overlook that fact. This place was wiped out. It's no longer on any maps. Which means this place was eradicated just like Lelusia. This is the land of instrument makers, Esperia. Esperia Palace, barracks. Come on,
Captain! Teach us how to do your quick draw techniques!
It's not fair that Princess Shorty gets all your attention.
This is pathetic. What do you think I'm teaching you now?
Oh, wait. This is pathetic. What do you think I'm teaching you now? Learn the fundamentals before you dream. And then it just shows Brooke walking with, I'm guessing, Princess Shorty going, I wonder what our dinner is tonight. And then she's singing,
Yeah, I'm starving.
gather up all of the crew, time to ship out Binks's brew. Sea wind blows to where, who knows, the winds will be our guide. Or across the ocean tide, the sunset is going wild. See the skies, birds singing in circles passing by. And we get Brooke's face with no glasses. We get Brooke's face with no glasses. We get Brooke's face with no glasses. He's a brother. He's a brother! I mean, of course. You already knew that. We already knew that, but he's a brother. But there's meat on them bones. We see Meat Brook. We got Meat Brook. But here's the thing. Brooks is singing Binks's brew, and Shorty is singing in this as well. Time to ship out Binks's brews. Oh, wait, I gotta sing it in the right key. Gather up all of the crew. Time to ship out Binks's brew. Sea wind blows to where, who knows, the waves will be our guide. Or across the ocean's tide, the sunset is going wild. And then Shorty goes,
See the skies, birds singing and for circles passing by. Yay! I worked hard today.
and it shows Kingdom Aspedia, leader of Raider Squad, Battle Convoy, Brooke, age 20, and Kingdom of Aspedia Princess, Shorty, age 7.
You think I got any stronger? Just like Mama.
Mama? Strong like Mama? Who Mama? Who Mama? Yes, Her Majesty is very powerful. Ah, Queen Candel, light of my life.
It's not good to fall in love with a married woman, Brooke.
What do you mean? Love is free. This is the same thing that Gavin said. And then we have the Kingdom of Asperia King, Reuven, who's a very ugly looking dude who's looking like your trademark married with children dad, you know, wife beater on in his shorts, but he's not in shorts. He's just got a basic white wife beater on with jewels and a cloak on and very disheveled hair and a very ugly looking face. I sentence you to death for conspiracy. Too harsh, please, boss. I mean, Your Majesty.
Papa!
You were plotting to kill me, weren't you? Of course not. Don't even suggest it. I'll wait until death takes you.
Come on, Brooke, forget about Mama. Don't worry, Brooke. When I grow up, I'll marry you instead.
No, Shorty, you're supposed to say goofy stuff like that to me and melt my heart.
And then Brooke is all like,
Oh, no thanks. I'd prefer a wife without the runny nose.
and then the king tries to kick Brooke.
What? You picky oaf! How dare you turn down my daughter in front of me?
I'm nothing if not faithful.
And then he just casually dodges out of the way just with his lanky old body. And then we have a soldier come in going, I hate to interrupt the fun, Your Majesty. There's a gang on horseback riding through the city from the port. Some of the battle convoy is in town, but they're outnumbered. We've sent more from the castle, but I don't think they'll make it in time. So we have the port, and they're making their way into the port, and they're right next to the opera house, which I believe Brooke was singing on top of at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then, of course, it shows the path towards the palace as well.
What are they after?
They've been shouting for Queen Candel, who is enjoying an opera in town.
What? Is it the Malone family?
Yes, sir.
They've been after Candel for years. When did they land at my port? Send word to Candel not to leave the opera house.
The opera house's transponder snail is on silent mode during the show.
Ah!
Too acting, Brooke. They're gonna kidnap Mama.
The Molon rogues, you say? Why, that's odd. I saw them in the port earlier today.
Then we cut to Theater Street, and it has the Malone family, Molon family just tearing through the streets.
Ah! It's a horseback gang!
And it shows one member with like stitches over his face, just smiling deviously. And then we have the Opera House. Figaro, 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 Figaro. No, you're Opera House. Opera House.
Ah, a beautiful performance.
Come on now, Kendall. We have permission to shoot from Don Malone if you don't. Today's the day we settle this. You're gonna be the Don's woman once and for all.
Okay, so there's someone other than there's someone, and it's kind of reminds me of like how everyone was trying to get their hands on Shaki.
You're gonna be the Don's woman once and for all. Make sure Her Majesty doesn't leave the.
And it cuts to make sure Her Majesty doesn't leave the. And it shows one of these gang members shooting one of the guards to keep him from, saying this to warning her.
Hell, Brooke.
It's going to be fine, boss. For one thing, she's very strong. They can't take her away. Plus, well, I'm rather stunned they haven't noticed yet. You see, by the time they left the port, I'd already cut them all.
Bro, what? I'm sorry? Bro, what do you mean? Before they left the ship, Brooke already cut them? What do you mean? Ah! He cut them before they even left! That's the reason why Brooke was not worried. Before they even got off the ship, he cut every single one of them. So the whole time he's been chilling and not worried is because before they even left the port, I'd cut them all. Bro, Brooke is a monster. What you mean you cut someone so cleanly and so fast that not only did they not see you, but the delayed side effect of being cut didn't trigger until Brooke felt like their wound should open up. And the thing is, when you get slashed by Brooke and then you see that spray of blood happen all of a sudden, that wound is getting ripped open. So when that happens, it's almost as if you're being cut instantaneously. But Brooke says, well, I'm rather stunned they haven't noticed yet. You see, by the time they left the port, I'd already cut them all.
Huh?
And then the next thing you see is every single member of the Malone family getting cut down where they stand. And they're all laying on the ground like,
What just happened?
oh, wait. Is this one of those they were already cut things? Then, 3-pace Samnat slash Hanota Sancho. Yahatsugiri! And then he just screams this. He screams his attack after it's happened. This is like getting punched by Luffy and then he says gum gum pistol. This is like getting blasted by Kaido and then after the smoldering remains of what you were is just laying there, then he says Horobretsu. He cut them all and then after they got cut, he's all like, Yahatsugiri!
Oh, Sir Brooke, he's so dashing.
Oh wait, sorry.
They were already... wait, is this one of those they were already cut things? It was Captain Brooks' quick draw! Then it was Captain Brooks' quick draw!
Hanota Sancho. Yahatsugiri!
Oh, Sir...
I was reading the panels wrong.
Oh, Sir Brooke!
He's so dashing!
Look, there's Her Majesty.
What a beauty she is! 70 years ago, the kingdom of Esperia harbored 2 great stars. One, the former captain of the battle convoy and current queen, Candel. The other, an unpopular musician but master of the quick-draw sword technique that left its victims unaware they'd been slashed, the leader of the Raider Squad, Humming Brook. And then we get Queen Candel. Queen Candel, wow. See, here's the thing about Candel. A lot of characters you see that have like wild and wavy hair, hers doesn't end in like points. Hers kind of tapers off into like round shapes. Candel is beautiful though. As she walks out, sword in hand, going,
What the scene out here?
in this era, the kingdom was at peace. To be continued though. Those last words are kind of haunting. In this era, the kingdom was at peace. If we're about to witness the backstory of Brook, first of all, because here's the thing, Brook's history goes past Rox and Roger. Brook is older than them both. So what we're about to witness is history before Rox and Roger showed up. Who knew that we would be getting Brook's backstory right now? Oh, that is so cool. I honestly thought we were going to focus on Zoro and Sanji going after Killingham and Somers. That's what I thought this was. Now, mind you, it did focus a little bit on the present day in the beginning, but now I said if we go to Brook's backstory, it was going to be one of the most important backstories that we see, and now we're getting it. I said this when we were talking about Brook. I said it multiple times, multiple reactions. Can't remember which one, but I brought it up multiple times. The moment we would have Brook's backstory would be one of the most important moments for the story as a whole, because Brook's history is literally the one that is unexplored whatsoever. And now we're getting Brook, Michael Jackson looking behind, humming Brook. We're getting his backstory. Yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho. Yo! This is about to be Brook's backstory. So, also, I know it sounds like my microphone is peaking. I still haven't figured out how to regulate that, how to get that back to normal where it's not peaking anymore. Ever since I pretty much switched computers, actually, my sound has been a little bit different. So if I'm screaming and I'm loud, I apologize. But this was a beautiful chapter. This was a really beautiful chapter. Because here's the thing. We got Emu and Loki going up against each other. New attacks, Ragnar Dulheim. And we also have Blade of Wrath Grom, which is new attacks from both Loki and Emu respectively. And then Emu brings up this name called Dozon, saying, Loki, Straw Hat Luffy, in any case thou wilt not be my soldiers. So I shall eliminate thee instead. Just like Dozon. Who is Dozon? Who's Dozon? Wait a minute. I shall eliminate thee just like Dozon. What are the odds Dozon is the name of a person from Esperia? Given the fact that we're getting the backstory of Brook and the nation of Esperia, you know, a nation that no longer exists anymore. I wonder if Dozon has a part to play in this story of Brook as well, because why drop that name? Dozon might be the name of Joy Boy? If Dozon is the name of Joy Boy, that might be interesting. That actually might be interesting. Now, here's a beautiful thing. I no longer need to pull up my phone in order to look at the web pages that has a synopsis, because I got a powerful system that will not falter when I look stuff up. I can type stuff on my screen and look it up now. We've upgraded. So, let's see. Chapter 1183. Summary time! Emu says to Ragnir that it has been waiting all this time for someone who could fight back against him, something it seems to confirm. But Loki has no idea what he's talking about, being more concerned by an opponent as tough as Emu. Emu then declares that since both Luffy and Loki cannot be corrupted to his side, he will destroy them both, just like he did with someone named Dozon in the past. And mind you, Dozon doesn't have a name linked to them, because all we know is just that they're a person that Emu killed in the past. That's it. We don't know if this is the name of Joy Boy or if it's someone else entirely. But Loki then attacks with a move called Ragnadulheim, while Emu counters with Gram, resulting in another massive explosion. It would be so cool if we got Emu as a playable character in a future Pirate Warriors game. It would be so cool to have a playable Emu now that we know what he looks like. Also, real quick, before I continue with the summary, I gotta acknowledge every single other person that's here. Let's see, Hybrid, good to see you. And there was someone else new who came by as well. Chadiz, yeah. Chapter was peak. Let me see what you guys said. So it's been 8 hours. Also, Michael Brooke Jackson. Brooke with meat on his bones. I believe Brooke just won some more lady fans. He's a looker. Also, I'm noticing we've been getting a lot of West Blue content during this arc. Yeah, we've been cutting to the West Blue a whole lot during this arc, especially during flashbacks. What is it about the West Blue? To the only white guy with an afro I'm familiar with is Mr. Cotter. The one I'm familiar with is Bob Ross. So that's Shorty's dad. Interesting. He looks like Wapol, or what's his face? He reminds me a little, like his chin reminds me of he has like a Wapol-like face except without the metal jaw. So he's the Al Bundy of One Piece. Pretty much. I'm glad Reuven seems to be a good dad despite his appearance. Cohagen, you're probably thinking about Dufel. Dufel comes to mind, but he doesn't exactly have that same physical chin look. If anything, what is the name of that pirate that sided with Whitebeard that has a cigar, but he also has that big pointed chin that points in two different directions, and he has like a little bit of a receder headline and a scar on his face, and he has like, I want to say, a mustache beard combo, but no, a mustache, like a handlebar mustache, and then I forget which pirate that sided with Whitebeard during the Marineford War that actually is. We finally see Brooke's eyes. How long did he do that? That implies he cut them hours ago. Brooke already mastered his skills of advanced cutting. Where is this level of delay in the current day? And they're like, what? Yeah, they're like, what just happened? That's the crazy thing. That is the crazy thing. Brooke cut these jokers a long time ago, and they never noticed up until the moment they got close to the Opera House, and then all of their wounds erupted on them. Let me go back to when Brooke said, like, where were they? Where is it? Let's see. Yeah, the Molan Rogues, you say? Why, that's odd. I saw them in the port earlier today. So it was earlier in the day that he saw them, he cut them, and then came right back. He saw them and cut them, and then came right back. And it wasn't until they made their way deeper into the town when they tried to take Candel that all of their wounds just opened up immediately. And here's the thing. Brooke not only cut through their bodies, but he cut through their guns. They were using their guns until the wounds opened up, and then the cut went through the guns and sliced those too. He cut through them and their guns. Do you realize that if something is cut in half and you're holding it, especially if it's something metal, there's no guarantee that it's going to stay in place. The cut was so clean that even the objects themselves didn't even realize they were cut until the very last minute. This man is separating atoms in such a way that the atoms don't even realize they're separated until the last millisecond. So he cut through them and their weapons at the same time. That Brooke! This dude just became a whole lot more scary. I knew he was scary. Among all the swordsmen on the Straw Hat crew, Brook always struck me as one who has incredible potential, given the fact that he can cut people before they realize they've been cut. Have you ever seen anyone actually block the Yahatsukiri at all? The Humnach slash. Have you ever seen anyone actually counter it and block it? No. Brook moves too fast. He cuts them, and it's only after the fact that people realize they've been cut. But let me continue on. In the Western Village, the Zaza MMA grabs 7 children, which Killingham considers a suitable number, as the Giants try to take them back, despite Chopper warning them that his blood transfusions for all of them is not finished yet. But they all choose to accept death rather than hand their kids over. Surrender your children to us. No! I choose death! And then Ripley just runs straight at Somers. I'm sorry, that was an Invincible reference for those who don't know. Sanji arrives at the village and sees the chaos from afar as he is about to join the fight. Meanwhile, Usopp and Brook have awoken, and the former asks the latter why he ran off to fight Gunko, who is shown to still be stuck in Ragnir's ice, by himself, having had to go back him up because he felt something was wrong. Nami asks Brook if he knows Gunko, and if she is an enemy from his past. Brook states that Gunko isn't an enemy to him, but he didn't want to ever see her again. However, wait a minute. Remember, Brook sees Princess Shuri as the person that killed her own father, who we just seen to actually be someone who, apparently loves his daughter. Now brings into question how those events take place, where Brook sees Shuri as literally someone he never wants to see again, despite how jovial they're behaving with each other. Oh, this backstory is going to be important. This backstory is going to be crazy important. Nami asks Brook if he knows Gunko and if she's an enemy from his past. Brook states that Gunko isn't an enemy to him, but he didn't want to ever see her again. However, now he is filled with confusion rather than anger, because if Gunko really is Shuri, then she should look like she is 77. Of course, Brook doesn't know the whole concept of covenants with Imu, so that is obscure to him. Nami reasons that means she is completely different from the person he is thinking of, but he explains that she was the princess of his homeland, but he lost contact with her when she traveled to Marijois. And mind you, Princess Shuri, when she's young, same eyes that Gunko has. One that's swirled and one that's a solid color. Same person. So now it begs the question, how exactly does Shuri get to Marijois? And when I think Shuri, I immediately think of T'Challa and Black Panther. Shuri! Sorry. Frankie runs up to everyone and reveals, this is a long summary too. Frankie runs up to everyone and reveals that Gunko is still stuck in the ice and asks if they can just leave her like that since she is one of the enemies who attacked Elbaf. But Brook then reveals to everyone that she was the one who unwrapped him from her arrows, and while doing so, she told him to run as if she knew him, which is why he is so confused about her true identity. Only adding on to the confusion is right after Gunko told him to run, Imu then took back control of her and she acted like a demon again. Based on Gunko's earlier elitist behavior, followed by her trying to save Brook, and then with Imu's possession, Brook says it's almost like 3 different personalities exist in one body, which Nami suggests is a sign she is being controlled. Something Brook is inclined to believe as well after seeing their giant allies being turned into enemies. Of course, Jinbei states that Brook needs to make a decision on whether Gunko lives or dies very soon. To better explain his predicament, Brook decides to tell his crew about his life before becoming a pirate. Long ago, he lived in a kingdom called Esperia, which according to him, no longer exists. And we pretty much have a rough idea of how that happened. He described the place as a place filled with music, with many different shops dedicated to making all sorts of instruments. Back then, Brook was the leader of Esperia's battle convoy, and he was very close to Shuri, the kingdom's princess. He also had deep feelings for Shuri's mother, the Queen Candel, even though she was already married to the king, Reuven. Humorously, Reuven notices Brook's declaration of love towards his wife, which led to him half-jokingly threaten Brook with a death sentence for conspiracy. Also, dude wasn't even serious. He was joking with Brooke because he knows that Brooke loves his wife. So he was just messing with him. The way his face looked made it seem like he was actually going to be serious about trying to execute Brooke. But no, dude knows, and he just rolling with it. To defuse the situation, Shorty asks Brooke if she could marry him once she grows up, though he turns her down because her nose is still runny, to the annoyance of Reuven. During their usual banter, a soldier came in to inform Reuven that a gang on horseback riding through town, and the battle convoy came to inform that a gang on horseback was riding through town, and the battle convoy doesn't have enough men to fight them off right now. Reuven asks what the invaders want, and they tell him they seem to be after Candel, which makes Reuven realize that the invaders are members of the Malone family, and are once again trying to capture her for their leader, Don Malone. I wonder if this is one of the bosses that Capone killed in order to get rid of all the Dons. But getting back to it, right now, Candel is at an opera house with her Denden Mushi on silent, meaning they have no way to contact her about the danger. Is this the first instance that we learned that Denden Mushis have a silent feature? Is this the first time you are capable of putting a Denden Mushi on silent? Someone please remind me if that's the case. Yo, Giuseppe, what's going on? I really like how Jinbei respects Brooke to make a decision on what to do with Gunko. That's maturity. Jinbei is great. Jinbei's always been great. Jinbei is literally one of the goated characters of all of One Piece. I gotta read some more of your comments as well, because you guys have said a lot. Let's see. Right now, Candel is at an opera house with her Denden Mushi on silent, meaning they have no way to contact her about the danger. So Reuven and Shuri beg Brooke to do something to save her. However, Brooke expresses no worries for two reasons. The first being that Candel can fend for herself, and the second that Brooke actually encountered the gangsters earlier and had already cut them with his quick draw style technique. Though he was surprised they hadn't noticed they had been cut until they finally reached the opera house. Though after saying all of this, all of the gangsters collapsed. Afterwards, Candel left the opera house as everyone cheered both for her and Brooke's actions in taking the gangsters down, as it is revealed that both of them were Esperia's biggest stars, with Candel even being the battle convoy's former captain before becoming queen. So, chapter notes. Imu continues to battle with Loki and Ragnar. Imu declares that he will kill both Luffy and Loki due to them being immune to his corruption, just like what he did in the past with someone named Dozan. At Western Village, Killingham managed to take 7 children. It says managed to took 7 children, so they might need to correct this for the wiki. Managed to take 7 children away just as Sanji arrived to the scene. Brooke and Usopp regained their consciousness as the Straw Hats asked the former about his connection to Gunko and what to do with her. To provide context of his predicament, Brooke revealed his past as an elite soldier of the Esperia Kingdom long ago. According to Brooke, the Esperia Kingdom, in which its inhabitants partakes in various musical businesses, no longer exists. When Brooke was 20 years old, he served under King Reuven and Queen Candel as the leader of the country's battle convoy. Brooke is very close to Reuven and Candel's daughter, Princess Shuri, whom Brooke finds her resemblance to Gunko uncanny. During an attack by the Malone family, Brooke took down the gangsters using the quick draw sword style, which causes them to take damage long after the attack was made. Whew. Okay. So this is where we're at. We're at one of the most pivotal moments for One Piece, where we have Brooke's backstory. This was a good chapter. Oh my goodness, this was a good chapter. Okay, so now to fully catch up on what you guys have said. Okay, let's see how strong, like, we know how strong Brooke can be, but we never really realize how super strong Brooke is, and the fact that he has also that 2 years time skip. Brooke is important with not just being a musician. Candel is a baddie. Yes, you are indeed correct. Let's see, I have a feeling that Oda did this flashback now just because maybe Gunko will switch sides later on in the story or a sacrifice has to be made. We need that emotional impact. We need this flashback. Also, question. Was the video skipping for you guys when I got started at the beginning? I was looking at a little bit of the playback here. I just wanted to make sure was it actually smooth for you guys? Y'all know me, I like to work in excellence. Sit down, Usopp. This is Brook's arc now. You've had your moment of rage baiting the king of the world. Yeah, because it's because of Usopp that Imu was all like, oh, okay. Then I'll make my way over there then. I'm kidding. I still have hope for Usopp. Okay, you were kidding. Let's see. By the way, in the live action, we see that the Man-Mayer family has opera houses in Logetown. Maybe Candel is a god knight and from that family because that's what Gunko is named as. Remains to be seen. I wonder if Dozon could be the previous user of the Needhog fruit, the warrior god who clashed with Joy Boy. It's possible. Feels like Beji's relatives, because Beji isn't born yet maybe his grandfather. There's Don in his name. But Don is a title, though. That's not his actual name. Like, like a Don of a Mafia. That's not your name. That's just the title you have. So I don't know. Really hope it's a long flashback. Let me see. Just thinking the same thing. Let's see. That would be interesting. I wonder. Is the video skipping for you guys? Please let me know. Because I keep seeing it skip in the playback. So I just want to make sure that nothing is actually skipping. Or if it's because I have it turned up to like 720 for the playback. It might just be me. It might just be me for the quality that I have it set to for the playback itself. That might be what's throwing me off. But let's see. Imagine. No, it's not. It's not skipping. Okay, so it was me. I was worried. I was actually worried. But good to know that we're good. Imagine a plot twist where Candel is a God's Knights and she did a God Valley hunting tournament in Esperia, and Candel will take Shuri to Marijois. That's how Imu got her. Also, I hope Sanji is actually able to do something against Zaza and not refuse to attack. He mentioned the quick slash and thriller bark, by the way. I love Oda. Yeah, I mean, that's where most of us actually saw the quick slash for Brook, because it was the same arc where we met Brook. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows about the quick slash and thriller bark if you've been keeping up with the story this long. We also have to learn how Brook got his devil fruit during this flashback. We already seen how he died, but how he got it, we will see. And Brook go up against Big Mom. Brook fight Big Mom. He was the MVP on Whole Cake Island arc, despite it being Sanji's arc. Let's see. I really like how Jinbei. Okay, I read that one. We know the Holy Knights get involved at some point. The very first time. I wonder if this has. Brook and Shorty flashback trying to compete with Kuma and Bonnie flashback. We about to get something emotional, and Brook is about to shine. Shark. I think so too. I think so too, Shark. Also, Shark, I think this is your first time here. Welcome. I hope you enjoy yourself. Or at least what you managed to come in on. Oda said, I wonder if I can squeeze this in here. Please squeeze it! Oda-sensei! Please squeeze it in because I've been wanting to see Brook's backstory for years. And I can't think of a better time to do that than the moment when Brook sees someone from his past he hasn't seen in ages showing up here of all times. Fun fact, Capone means big head. Well, that fits Capone because his head in relative to size to his body is kind of big, and when he goes to Big Father, his head is still big in comparison to his body. Is Capone... Wait, what does Capone mean? derives from the root word capo, meaning head or chief. It it's just essentially it doesn't mean big head. It just means head or chief. Yeah, it just means head or chief. Yeah, it just means head or chief. It doesn't mean big head though. It doesn't mean big head. I hope it's a decent length flashback, not too long, but not too short. Except Loki's flashback, I dislike. Except Loki's flashbacks, I dislike flashbacks. You've never been a fan of flashbacks too much, and the Davy back fight. Still remember that. Two Straw Hats have we gotten two flashbacks is Sanji and Brook. Insane. Now, we don't really necessarily need Jinbei's, but we've seen a little bit of his past, at least the relevant moments of his life during his past, which included, Fisher Tiger, and also, I feel like that was it. I feel like that was it with Jinbei in his youth, and it was just his time with, Fisher Tiger, and that was it. And Frankie, we saw enough of his past with Tom and Iceberg when he was younger, and how Tom was taken away. We definitely seen plenty of Robin's past, by the way. We saw enough of Zoro. Well, the only time we really paid attention to Zoro's past was his time learning at the same dojo as Kuina, and that was it. Nami, we really don't know much about her past except for what we know of her and Nojiko and Belmare. Also, rest in peace, the voice actress for Nojiko, who passed, I believe it was last week or the week before last. But we lost her, and then we also lost the voice actor for I was just talking about him. He was a voice actor for Kenpachi for some movies for Bleach, and also Dory in some episodes of One Piece as well. We lost him. But Nami's past is one we haven't fully explored. Luffy's past, we only know the amount of his time growing up and, dealing with Shanks and meeting Shanks, and that was pretty much it. But we don't know the ins and outs of Luffy's youth in terms of, who his mother is, which has been one of the longest standing mysteries of One Piece, to the point where people were putting out theories that Imu could possibly be Luffy's mother in disguise. It was just so many crazy theories. But the fact that we are getting Brook's backstory, I wonder if we'll get a Nami-focused flashback in a future arc which was caused by a god knight. We'll have to see. But what I can say is that the fact that we are getting Brook's backstory of all moments means that we are in an incredibly pivotal moment of One Piece where we're getting explanations of who people were in the Straw Hat crew and where the story is going to go from here. Also, another thing to note, if Imu reaches a point where he cannot fight anymore, the new goal for the world government is to ensure the death of Luffy and Loki. Mind you, they wanted Luffy gone and completely eradicated multiple times over. But the fact that Imu himself was unable to turn either Loki or Luffy means that they are liabilities that must be erased. So, going forward from Elbaf, I'm assuming that any sort of force that is sent after either Loki or Luffy is going to be sent with the intent to make sure they both die. No capture, eradicate them completely. They're an affront to my plans. That's how much of a threat to Imu they are. Simply because they can't be corrupted or turned or domi reversied, they have to die. Because anyone I can't control, I must destroy. This is literally lines that Darkseid said to Superman from the animated series. If you will not, what I cannot control, I will destroy. He literally said this to Superman before they fought the first time in the Superman animated series. If you will not be my knight, then you will be my pawn. What I cannot control, I destroy. It seems you're a man of your word, Darkseid. I am many things, Kal-El. You couldn't imagine half of them. But for now, I shall play the role of executioner. This is literally Imu saying this to both Luffy and Loki, and mind you, Luffy is still not back yet. I've been doing a lot of clapping today. Sorry about that. So I'm very excited to see where this flashback goes. Like, I want to learn more about Queen Candel. I want to learn more about Brook. Brook is 20 years old and is cutting people as if he's been doing it for 50 years. Hey, I'm 20 years old. Oh, I cut you an hour ago. Ya Hatsugiri! And then that's crazy to me. The thing about Brook that scares me in this chapter is the fact that every single time we've seen Brook say like, oh, I've cut you already, and then he just says his name of the attack, and then the cut explodes. It's not like, oh, I'ma cut these people before they even before they fully pull into our nation, and then I'm just gonna chill at the palace for a hot minute. And then be all confused that, it's kind of weird that they haven't noticed that I cut him already. The fact that they're moving around means that they haven't noticed they've been cut all this time, which could have been hours. You know how long it takes to dock a ship? It's not like, oh, you just pull up and then you hit the brakes. No, there's still inertia you gotta worry about. Anchors exist for a reason. So he cut them jokers so quick, so fast, that it's how fast do you need to be to cut someone? They don't even feel it, they don't even notice it, and then you just go back and chill at the palace, singing Binks's brew with the princess. And then when you hear that the same people you cut are running into town, you go, see, I cut them when they showed up. How did they not notice they've been cut already? And then that's scary. We've never seen Zoro cut someone, and then all of a sudden, hours later, then they fall down. We've seen a moment where he basically, correction, One Piece has 2 Michael Jackson characters. Did we forget about Django? Dude literally appeared for the first time in the series moonwalking. That was literally, the thing with Django, he's like a face like Mick Jagger. No, wait. That's Diamante. Never mind. No, the thing with Django, he literally appeared in the series the first time, moonwalking. So now we got 2. Now, Django is Michael Jackson after the surgery. Brook is Michael Jackson before the surgery. You know, when his nose was still intact. So Django is the after Michael, and Brook is the before. But what I love about this chapter is that we are finally getting more on Brook. But also, that quick draw? Ooh, imagine if Zoro learned. Imagine if Zoro learned quick draw from Brook. Like that level of being able to cut someone to the point where they don't even realize they've been cut at all. Imagine if Brook taught Zoro. Mind you, Zoro is not above, stealing other techniques because he learned how to cut fire just like Kinemon during the Wano arc. Imagine. All right, sorry, my bad. Not Mick Jagger, but Diamante looks like Steve Tyler. Sorry, I got those two mixed up. Yeah, Brook teaching Zoro, that will be a new power-up for Zoro. Him being able to cut so much that the person literally could leave and not realize they've been cut until the last minute. And then if they sail away, they're all like, what just happened? And you just got a big old cut across your chest. The thing with Zoro is he does not mind being especially lethal. So if you get cut by Zoro and his quick draw, Omae wa mou shinderu. I'm surprised Zoro hasn't axed already, if I'm being honest. Feel like there really hasn't been much opportunity. Either that, or maybe he doesn't think Brook's level of swordsmanship is the kind that he needs to learn. I feel like Zoro is the kind of individual where if he sees a technique that'll benefit him, he gonna copy it. But I feel like Brook hasn't shown that level since that level, because what we just seen is him just do quick slashes, just quick draws, and then he just goes about his merry way. Perhaps not in a overly flashy way that Zoro tends to be sometimes, but maybe this could be the moment where Brook starts explaining. Possibly. Because we already know Zoro's gonna surpass Mihawk, but he needs to level up. Maybe Brook's quick slashes. We'll have to see. It would be cool if Zoro learned how to move like Brook and cut someone so fast that they don't even realize they've been cut at all. It would be really cool. But overall, this was a very, very good chapter. I am so happy we're getting Brook's backstory! I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But here's the thing though. Learning about Esperia and how it was a nation of peace. It was a kingdom of peace. Finding out what that is, and how everything goes downhill is going to be quite the explanation. Because we got things that need to be explained. Why does Brook see Princess Shuri as the person that killed her own father and a person that he never wants to see again? Because we get introduced with him singing with her. This flashback is going to answer so many good questions concerning Brook. Wouldn't be surprised if we get more. And if not only that, it's not just really his backstory that we also need to think about. And also, am I crazy? But is Esperia reminding anyone else of that Film Red music village? Hold on. What was that village called? Allegia. Called the Island of Music. Now we have Esperia. And here's the thing, Esperia is a real place. In Italy, Esperia is a real place. Yeah, Esperia, Italy. A real town and municipality in the province of Frosinone. Frosinone in the Lazio region of central Italy, located about 110 kilometers southeast of Rome. So if I go to Esperia in One Piece, yeah, Esperia Kingdom was a nation located in the West Blue, primarily known for its musical instrument makers. It was Brook's homeland and where he served as a royal guard. According to Brook, Esperia no longer exists. Let me see. So we have Queen Reuven, Queen Candel, Princess Shuri. Yeah, Esperia is the Italian form of Hesperia, a Greek term meaning western lands, historically used by the Greeks to designate the territories west of their homeland, especially southern Italy. Furthermore, in some variants of Greek mythology, this was the proper name of one of the Hesperids. And the Hesperids are the nymphs of evening and the golden light of sunsets, who were the daughters of the evening or nymphs of the west. They were also called the Atlantids from their reputed father Atlas. Quite interesting. Interesting indeed. But yeah, I said everything I needed to say. And the fact that we're not going on break. Brook hit the Nika pose as well in this chapter? Really? Where did I see that at? Where was that at? Here's the thing though, he's done those poses multiple times before. Him just jumping into the air, screaming and playing music loudly as the sun is shining on Esperia. We've seen him take that pose before, so it's not the first time. Granted, seeing people jump up in the air with their legs outstretched in a Mario pose, I'm pretty sure people would just say like, "Oh, that's the Nika pose. He knows," but it's all like, "Woohoo!" But it's like we've seen people jump up like that before. It's not the first time. Yeah, it's not the first time. But this was a good chapter. This was a very good chapter. Yeah, he did that in Fishman Island as well. Yeah, so it's not the first time we've seen it. This is before we even knew Nika was a thing. And who knows if Brooke even knows who Nika is, but quite interesting. But overall, as this reaction hits 1 hour, I want to go ahead and a good chapter, W chapter. Also interesting, at this point, his music is disliked too. Yeah, at this point, Brooke has people don't like him singing. They hate him. They hate him singing. I feel like part of that is because he was singing at 4 a.m. in the morning when people were trying to sleep. So that might be because he does not care what time it is. He's just going to sing. And that could be akin to like Usopp always ringing the bell, warning people like the pirates are coming and lying to them over and over and over again. And people just dismiss it. Here, Brooke doesn't apparently may not care what time it is. And he's all like, music time. So it's like that. Yeah, so it's like that. He did it when they were rescuing Kami. Yeah, he did. But here's the thing. And I bring this chapter reaction to a close because I got to do Sakamoto days and then also eat some food as well. Once it arrives, of course. And then react to the latest episode of One Piece, which is the reunion of Robin and Saul. I cannot wait to watch the episode. And then record more Batman for you guys. Because I got a busy week. There's still so many things to do this week. My goodness. But I will get to all of it. So, to D-Train, and wait, was D-Train here? I believe D-Train was here. To everyone who showed up. Ozzy, DJ, Holster. Who's next? Cohagen, Shark, Giuseppe, Cherise or Cherise. Please correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Yeah, D-Train wasn't here. Yeah, D-Train was not here. Sorry about that. And Hybrid. Every single person who showed up here today, thank you for tuning in. This was a wonderful chapter to react to, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the next chapter of One Piece, because we're not going on break. If I missed anything important, let me know down in the comments down below, but I think the majority of us covered everything. With that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even consider checking out my membership or Patreon, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. But it's completely optional and only if you want to support the channel. Because I am always looking forward to entertaining you, and because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples! Right, I forgot to say, on to Sakamoto days!